Let's learn a shtickle Toldos Shimshon on Perekei Avos, Perekei Mishnah Yud Zayin. Reb Tarfon says, Hayoim Kotzer, the day is short, v'hamalacha meruba, and there's a lot of work that has to get done. V'hapoyalim atzelim, the workers are lazy. V'aschar harbe, but the schar is very much. U'bal habayis doichik, and the bal habayis is pressing. The Toldos Shimshon asks that it's mashma from this Mishnah that Hayoim Kotzer v'hamalacha meruba, that one follows the next. It's because Hayoim Kotzer, because the day is short, that's why there's a lot of work that has to get done. And it's mashma that if the day would be long, then there wouldn't be Hamalacha Meruba, and that needs an explanation. So he explains that it says in the Medrash that when the Yidden were makabel the Torah, they were makabel it chorus ala luchos. Chorus ala luchos means that it was engraved in the luchos, the Aseres HaDibros, and the Medrash says chorus is melashon cherus, that they became free from the Malach HaMoves. At the time when the Yidden were makabel the Torah, they got rid of the Malach HaMoves. There wouldn't be any death in the world. But after they did the Chet HaEgel, then the Malach HaMoves came back. And the Gemara Nedarim says that something else came with the Chet HaEgel also. If not, the Gemara says, if not for the Chet HaEgel, then the Yidden would get Chamisha Chumshe Torah and the Sefer Yeshua. That would be the complete Torah. The Torah that we would have would be Chamisha Chumshe Torah, the Chumash, and Sefer Yeshua. Now that we did the Chet HaEgel, now the Torah became much larger. So comes out, says the Toldos Shimshon, that before the Chet HaEgel, the days of a person's life was long, because there wouldn't be any Malach HaMoves. From the Kabbalah HaTorah until the Chet HaEgel, then there was no Misa, and if it would stay like that, then a person would live forever. That would be long days. Hayoim Kotzer, but now that we did the Chet HaEgel, now the days of our life became short because there's Misa in the world. And something else came along with that. Now that we did the Chet HaEgel, and it made that there's Misa, something else came along with the Chet HaEgel. That's B'hamalacha Meruba. Now the Torah is much larger than it would have been. Before the Chet HaEgel, the Torah would have been Chamisha Chumshe Torah and Sefer Yeshua. Now that we did the Chet HaEgel, because of the Chet HaEgel, we have a much larger Torah, so Hamalacha Meruba. And that's how one flows from the next. Hayoim Kotzer happened by the Chet HaEgel, that our days became short, and Hamalacha Meruba happened because of the Chet HaEgel. Because if not for the Chet HaEgel, Torah would be much smaller. V'apoyalim atzelim, and now the workers are lazy, meaning to say that when a Yid looks at the Torah, the Medrash says in Shir Hashirim, a Yid says, how could I learn the whole Torah? It's so large. Masechta Shabbos is 24 prokim. Seder Nezikin is 30 prokim. Masechta Kelim is 30 prokim. So a person says it's too big. And because the Torah is so large, so he gives up. Like the Pasuk says in Mishlei, Romois la'evel chochmos. Romois is a precious stone. A fool says that Chachma is like a precious stone, just like a precious stone. It's very hard to come by. So he looks at the Torah, he looks how large it is and how vast the Torah is. So he says it's impossible. So how did this come about? Also because of the Chet HaEgel. Because of Hamalacha Meruba. When did Malacha Meruba, when did the Torah become so large? By the Chet HaEgel. Because of that, V'apoyalim atzelim, now the workers are lazy because they see how big the Torah is, and in Mela they say we can't do it, so they become lazy. And obviously now that there's a Malach HaMoves because of the Chet HaEgel, and with the Malach HaMoves comes along the Yetzer Hara. The Gemara says the Malach HaMoves is the Yetzer Hara. So now to do a mitzvah is much more difficult because we have a Yetzer Hara, and that's why we're lazy. Apoyalim atzelim is because of the Yetzer Hara. So obviously, it comes along with that, v'aschar meruba, that the schar will be much greater now that we have a Yetzer Hara. and apoyalim atzelim. Now the Yetzer Hara that made us lazy and tells us that we can't learn the whole Torah. So now if someone works hard in learning and doing mitzvahs, so lefum tzara agra, because he has the Yetzer Hara and it's much more difficult, now he'll get much more schar. And that's how the Toldos Shimshon explains how this Mishnah flows from one thing to the next. Hayom kotzer, the day is short because we have the Malach HaMoves after the Chet Egel, so now our life, the days of our life is short. V'hamalacha meruba, and because of that, because of the Chet Egel, now the Torah got bigger. Because of that, v'apoyalim atzelim, now we're lazy because we see how big the Torah is, how large it is, so we say we can't do it. We have a Yetzer Hara telling us that we can't do it. And because we have a Yetzer Hara telling us that we can't do it, now v'aschar meruba, the schar harbe, now the schar is much greater because lefum tzara agra. The Toldos Shimshon has another explanation on the last part of the Mishnah. Haschar harbe and balabai is doichik. And he says that this is based on the Gemara in Bava Metzia. The Gemara says on the Mishnah, Hasoicher es apoyalim, someone who hires workers, and after he hires them, he tells them, I want you to come early and I want you to stay late. So the Mishnah says if it's a place that the minig is that the work day doesn't start so early and it doesn't go so late, so he can't force his workers to come early and leave late, because the minig of this place is, of this city, that workers don't come early and they don't stay late. And the Gemara asks on this Mishnah, Pshita, it's obvious. Balabai is someone who hires workers, can't just tell them come earlier than the work day starts and stay later. What's the chiddush of the Mishnah? So the Gemara says, like tzricha, the chiddush of the Mishnah is the tofalu a'agrayu. He paid them more than the regular set price of workers, and he paid them extra. And I might think because he paid them extra, he has a right to tell them come early and stay late. So the chiddush of our Mishnah is no, that we say you paid them extra because you want them to do a good job, not because you want them to come early and stay late. And Toldos explains that this halach is only true when he hired them without saying anything. He hired them, he paid them extra, and after he hired them, he told them, I want you to come early and stay late. And that the Mishnah says that you can't tell them if the mokum shenagu, if this place that they live in, the minig is not to come early and not to stay late, so then he can't force them. But what if at the time that he hired them, he told them, I'm paying you extra because I want you to come early and stay late? Then of course they have to come early and stay late because he hired them al tanai and he paid them extra al tanai that they should come early and stay late. So says the Toldos Shimshon that the Eibishter also gives us a lot of schar, but the Eibishter schar that he gives us is because he wants us to be zrizim makdim l'mitzvahs. It's as if he made up with us that he wants us to start doing mitzvahs early in the day and stay late. And therefore, our Mishnah means like this: V'aschar harbe, the Eibishter is giving us a lot of schar. Now this, a lot of schar that the Eibishter is giving us is not like the case of the Mishnah Bava Metzia, that it's just that we should do a good job. The schar harbe that Hashem is giving us is that we should come early to do mitzvahs, early in the morning till late at night. It's as if the Eibishter made a Tanai with us. And therefore, Balabai is doichik. The Balabai is standing there and pressing. If a Balabai hires workers and tells them, I want you to be early and stay late, then he's putting the pressure on his workers and he's standing there making sure they come on time. Same thing when the Eibishter gave us a lot of schar. It's Balabai is doichik. It's as if the Balabai is standing there and waiting for us to come early and stay late. That's how the Toldos Shimshon explains our Mishnah. In the schus of the Zera Shimshon, where we have bracha and atzlocha b'chol ha'onyonim.